Hello everyone. Wait, why is the metronome still on? Okay, I turned it off. Holy shit, I'm so tech savvy. How's everyone doing? The world is a shit show at the moment, and I feel like lots of people have been telling each other, at least me and my friends, to take care. But like, what the fuck does that even mean? Don't fucking tell me to take care. I literally don't know how to take care of myself. Okay, we started kind of like on a wrong note there. But anyways, welcome to the very first episode of miso-en-scène. Please don't roll your eyes at the title. It is ridiculous. I agree, but it's catchy, and some will probably misspell it. Wait, I meant mispronounce it. So it's a lot more fun. I am your host, Miso. And did you know that it actually means smile in Korean? But that's not what I had in mind when I started calling myself Miso. But anyways, I'll be in your ears for maybe like 30 to 45 minutes. Listen to this while you're driving to get your jamba juice or whatever. Listen while you're taking a shower. Or maybe don't. Listen to this while you're taking your weekly jog, even though you promised yourself this year to take it daily. Or listen while you're vacuuming. Well, maybe not the latter. That shit's noisy. Unless you've got one of those really fancy Dyson wireless whatever. I used to have one of those. Okay, I guess it wasn't mine. It was my roommate's, and we all got kicked out. So I never got to see it again. Okay, so we talk about movies here. We talk about shit movies, great movies, film theory, ranking characters, pitting them against each other, etc., etc. Just my favorite things to do. Pitting people against each other. No, I'm totally kidding. Definitely. Yeah, but we're here to make movies fun again. I'll be inviting my friends, lovers, and families to talk about movies with me, make fun of them, maybe be excited over them. Possibilities are endless. I am a Gemini. I go as I please. But yeah, I know that this is such a weird time to start a podcast. I know that times are really tough at the moment, and I'm doing as best as I can to stay informed. Again, staying informed is one of the best things that you can, I mean, definitely aside from like, like donating, signing your petitions, and virtual protesting, do whatever you can, do the best of your abilities. And I am doing the same for myself as well. And it's hard, man. It's really hard at the moment. But yeah, I've just kind of decided to push through with this podcast. I've joined through a host and I've kind of paid for it. And I've donated most of my paycheck. And maybe I should really spend the rest of my money like very, very carefully. But yeah, maybe I'll start today by sharing my own personal top 10 directors, the influences they've kind of put on me being a screen production graduate. I've always wanted to be a filmmaker, but maybe then again, most creatives want to be a filmmaker. But then I've decided that maybe, just maybe, I'll never be smart enough, or maybe just not yet. So, like, while I learn, while I try to improve, well, I guess I just really like talking about movies, and my favorite kinds are, slow, minimalist movies. Not that I'm not a fan of avant-garde, especially excessive, what the fuckery kind of movies like Kenneth Anger or Jodorowsky, but like, I just always seem to be super drawn to, lots of slow, lingering, sometimes anticlimactic movies, most of which happen to be East or Southeast Asian movies, even though I do have some Eastern European favorites as well. But I guess I'll start the list off with Tsai Ming-liang. Holy shit, where do I even start with Tsai Ming-liang? I know that I haven't even seen his whole filmography, because he's got like quite a bit of, like expensive filmography, and like they're not super easy to find. They're not really that accessible. So I guess my very limited knowledge of him, and my undying love towards his creations can kind of tell just how impactful the ones I've seen are. So I love Goodbye Dragonin so very much. I feel that it's such a perfect piece of, you know, very ghost-like cinema. And it's not even eerie, it's not even a horror movie, but it just stays with you. It lingers for quite a long time. The characters are so very unique. They seem like they're ghosts. And actually just had another read, and some of them are actually ghosts. And yeah, and the latter is shared with, what time is it there? Not the ghost-like bit, but like, you know, the very unique characters. It's such a beautiful, like, rather pragmatic melodrama, and the contrast between the East and the West also really did it for me. Like, it wasn't really stark. It was so very subtle. Like, you could still see that, like, this is a movie about, um, you know, East Asian people still. Well, I think the second half was set in France. But yeah, I suddenly thought of another East Coast West kind of movie, albeit a little more fast paced. It's not so much of slow cinema, but like, oh my god, the characters are so charming. And that's Peter Chan's Comrades Almost Love Story. Gosh, he's not even one of my favorites. I'm not a huge fan of his The Eye trilogy. I think it's a trilogy. It is, right? Because you've got like The Eye and then like the remake of The Eye and then the third Eye or something. But Comrades is such a perfect depiction of trying to find love, or actually finding love, because okay, I'm not gonna put spoilers, but anyways, yeah, trying to find love in a very materialistic city, and too bad that I live in one. But anyways, I think this is a conversation topic for another day. Sorry I went on a bit of a tangent there. And next I've got, okay, I hope I'm not gonna get so much hate for this one. I really don't want to hate on my very first episode. I can only accept hater submissions on my 5th or maybe 10th episode. Maybe 15th if I'm like super good. But it's Hong Sang-soo and his muse slash partner slash the girl he left his wife for, Kim Min-hee. There was such a great couple for of like very indulgent, slow, a bit narcissistic filmmaker and actress kind of combo. Okay, so On the Beach at Night Alone was my very first Hong Sang-soo movie, which also starred Kim Min-hee, and it's basically about like a director cheating on his wife with an actress, and he actually made the movie with the girl he cheated on his wife for. Like, holy shit, that's some, I don't know. I shouldn't say that it's some Woody Allen type of bullshit. But then again, I mean, like, I don't think he's a pedophile, which I continuously thank God for. But yeah, none of his movies is perfect, nor do I like most of them. But I know that if I were to make movies, they'd be very similar to his, because his approach on like very, like, they're not very stylish, although the covers may seem like they are, but it's such a, like, the techniques that he's got, lots of slow panning and lots of zooming in, like mockumentaries. It's like you're watching The Office, except it's sad. But yeah, Isabelle Huppert. I am so sorry. I really don't know how to pronounce her name. But then again, my real name, not a lot of white people can pronounce that. So I don't know, man. Yeah, Isabelle Huppert is in a couple of his movies, actually. One of which is what I think could be Hong Sang-soo's worst, Claire's Camera. But like, I kind of liked it though. Maybe, I don't know. I just didn't quite get the awkwardness. I know that a language barrier was supposed to be one of the main topics, but I just really couldn't bear with the secondhand embarrassment. But I enjoyed it. Maybe that's my kink. Maybe I like being embarrassed. Okay, maybe I don't. I'm not gonna talk about that. I'm sorry. But yeah, at first I thought I didn't like Hong Sang-soo at all. I saw Right Now, Wrong Then, and to be frank, at first I despised it, but I took a closer look on like the dynamics of his characters and how most of his movies are essentially about him. They're like about artists, about filmmakers, you know, like he's putting his life in full display. That's some narcissistic bullshit, right? But for some reason, I'm drawn to them. Maybe I am one. Uh-oh. But yeah, I don't think a lot of people can do that. Or maybe they can, they just don't have like, you know, the big dick energy to do so. But yeah, but they mostly display realistic approaches on love. And like what ifs, what's right now could be wrong then, what's wrong now could be right then, you know, that sort of stuff. Maybe I'm just a huge sucker for like what ifs type of movie, but not that one that's called literally What If with Daniel Radcliffe and Zoe Kazan, maybe. I didn't look this up because I honestly do not give a shit. I think it's Daniel Radcliffe and Zoe Kazan, even though I do like Zoe Kazan because I saw Ruby Sparks when I was in high school, maybe, and I was just like, oh my gosh, she's so quirky and she's so pretty and smart and like whatever. She's so not like other girls. But yeah, then again, I am not like other girls. I am simply worse. Okay, my next one isn't even a slow cinema director. That's Sion Sono. I saw I Am Keiko, I think a couple months back, and I was obsessed because it was literally, it was so slow, like it was so repetitive, and the concept behind it is just, you know, the clock's ticking, and Keiko, just a title character, was just kind of like describing her life by seconds or like by the hour. I can't remember, but yeah, I was just like looking through my review of it on Letterboxd, and I thought it said "On God," my new favorite. But yeah, turns out it's "Oh God," a new favorite because I thought I was on some 2019 meme type of bullshit, and that's "On God." No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, because Sion Sono also has quite a bit of like very, most of his stuff are like super long, like very avant-garde. You've got Love Exposure, which I have yet to see as well, but apparently it's super good. Okay, the cover kind of reminds me of Cure though. I think is that Kurosawa? I don't want to be wrong here. The Cure. Not the band though. The Cure movie. It is Kurosawa. Not Akira Kurosawa, but Kiyoshi Kurosawa, which I also like. I know that we've got like lots of Japanese here. But yeah, I saw Pulse like a long time ago because I was on Lookbook. Wait, I think it was Lookbook, and they kind of had like a thread kind of thing, and I was in a group that, you know, would discuss about disturbing or like horror movies, and people there always told me that like Kairo or like Pulse in English is so scary. And I watched it, I think when I was like 12 or 13 or something. I couldn't believe that I was allowed on the internet around that age. But anyways, I just really like how it depicted loneliness, I guess, because looking back, I think the ghosts didn't really want to harm anyone. Like they were just lonely. I'm just a huge sucker for like, you know, feeling lonely in a movie. Maybe I am just lonely. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. But I have yet to see Cure and Tokyo Sonata. One of my friends told me the other day that it's one of his, the latter is one of his favorite movies. So I think I'm going to get into that really soon. But my next director, my next filmmaker is Eric Rohmer. We took quite a, you know, like different route this time. I have only seen maybe like only a third of his movies, I think. A third of like his major ones. Maybe half of his major ones, actually. I, like, whenever people asked me, like, if people were to ask me, oh, like, who's your favorite director? I would always say Eric Rohmer because, you know, I guess not that it's easier to talk about him, but his stuff are like a lot more accessible. I really like the Greenway, the collection, 11 in the afternoon, and I'm not even gonna attempt to pronounce them in French because I'm just gonna butcher them, definitely. But I also really like A Summer's Tale, and I think it's Pauline at the Beach or something. I know that like lots of his, I think he's regarded as like one of the most prominent figures in French New Wave. As much as I don't know, not that I'm not a fan of French New Wave cinema, although some of my favorite filmmakers kind of like drove that movement. I love Agnes Varda, I love Eric Rohmer, but I'm not particularly fond of, you know, Jean-Luc Godard and or Truffaut, I think. But there's something just different about Eric Rohmer and the way like he writes his characters. The quirkiness isn't super in your face like a lot of, you know, Jean-Luc Godard characters. But then again, I'm not so well versed in, you know, the universe of Jean-Luc Godard and François Truffaut because, I mean, I tried watching 400 Blows the other month, or like maybe like 6 months ago, when when a lot of Truffaut stuff was still on Mubi, I think. Speaking of which, I think my Mubi membership has to be renewed kind of soon. Oh wow, because I had like the 3 months for $1 kind of promo, and I thought that was like, holy shit, the best thing ever in the entire world. And recently they just opened up like lots of movies in their libraries, lots of Chris Marker, which I really love, lots of Agnes Varda as well, which is kind of like why I've been watching a lot of Agnes Varda. I've got a cat in Australia, by the way, and her name's Agnes, after Agnes Varda. I know. Don't even think about cringing, because, I mean, she's not even my cat. But when I used to live in Australia, she would always come over to Seb's house, and I started calling her Agnes, and then, I mean, I'm not gonna take the claim of like, oh, I started calling her Agnes, but Seb is also a fan of Agnes Varda, and I don't know, just kind of like rolled with it. Anyways, my favorite movies of hers include Beaches of Agnes. I love Beaches of Agnes so much, and then I love Le Bonheur. Okay, what did I even try? I'm just gonna call it Happiness. I think that's what it's called, right, in English? Happiness. Yeah, but it took my serotonin though. Serotonin levels super low right after watching that. But yeah, I also really like Chloe 5 from 5 to 7. I think that's what it's called. I haven't seen it in a real long time, but I remember it being absolutely one of my favorites. And also, I really like, oh my god, Ollie introduced me to Peter Greenaway, maybe like late 2019 actually. And then I started watching The Cook, The Thief, His Wife, and Her Lover, and it's been one of my favorites ever since as well. It's so pretty. It's really, really, really pretty. And like the tagline's really cute. It's lust, murder, dessert, bon appetit. So yeah, it's basically about like, you know, like the wife of an abusive criminal, kind of like a restaurateur or something. And then she starts, you know, like flirting with one of the patrons of the restaurant. Yeah, I really like that. The set design's always crazy. I love, love, love it so much. And as much as I think that it's very avant-garde, it's very like super flashy, set design is always so intricate, everything's orchestrated, art direction is great, and I absolutely can't, you know, praise this movie enough because it is amazing. And I can't believe that it took me that long to get into Peter Greenaway. I mean, I have yet to see A Zed and Two Noughts, I think. Ollie also recommended me that, and he loved it. We saw Prospero's books, and as much as I It was such a hard movie to follow, but again, it was really pretty. Set design was amazing. I'm just a huge sucker for, you know, like super intricate set design. I'm sorry that I keep saying set design and intricate. Come on, guys, take a shot for every single time I say set design. I actually don't. I know I said I was going to list 10, but I kind of lost track though. I don't know how many I've mentioned at this point. I think I've only mentioned 5, or maybe like 6. I don't know. But I do have a couple of my favorites. One of which is Ingmar Bergman. Yeah, but one of my favorite movies of all time is Scenes from a Marriage, which is super long. I think it's like 5.5 hours. I could be wrong though. Maybe it's like 4.5. And I think I started watching this movie when I was kind of like on my emo phase of like, I can't love. I am so broken beyond repair, and I think I only deserve bad people because I am a bad person. That type of deal, really. But yeah, I have seen Persona and I really, really liked it as well. But then again, I don't know. Like, who doesn't? Maybe a couple people. I've come across some people who don't particularly enjoy Persona or Seventh Seal, but I haven't seen Wild Strawberries though, and Cries and Whisperers, even though I really, really, really want to see Cries and Whisperers. But yeah, I also really like Fanny and Alexander. And I think it's called Brink of Life. Yeah, it is Brink of Life. And Waiting Women as well. Yeah, weirdly enough, I've seen like his lesser popular ones. Maybe I should get into like more of his, you know, significant ones. Ooh, also Edward Yang. I saw Yi Yi like a week ago, I think. Oh my god, I'm so obsessed. I am, holy shit. Yi Yi is honestly like, I think it's my number 2 most favorite movie of all time. And yeah, it's essentially about like this family in Taipei, and you know, they're asked like questions about life, meaning of life. And I don't know, for some reason, like the farewell is kind of like reminiscent of that, I think, because both of them deal with family grievances, and they both have like my favorite scenes of weddings ever. I've just realized that I've strayed away from like what I said in the, you know, first 15 minutes maybe of like, I really like slow cinema. And then I started talking about people who absolutely have nothing to do with that, but it's okay. I'm just sharing to you my favorites, and I think you should too. To me, you can DM me. I'm miso.suki on Instagram, and you can talk about movies with me. DM me. I have no friends. You can be mine. And also, maybe while we're at it, follow me in Letterboxd. It's Samsarasvati, Samsarasvati. I'm looking forward to, you know, talking to you guys. Maybe in the DMs, maybe. I wish Letterboxd has, you know, kind of like message thingy. I wish you could message people in Letterboxd. That would make Letterboxd absolutely like my favorite social media of all time. But then again, I don't think anyone from Letterboxd is gonna be listening to this. Yeah, I guess that's it for today's episode, and I'll catch you next week with more stuff, more juicy content. Maybe I'll bring some of my friends. Who knows, right? Again, I'm a Gemini. The possibilities are endless. I go as I please. But yeah, thanks for making it this far, and catch y'all soon. Bye.